All right then, guys. So we haven't actually discussed what you all decided to do for your level up. So let's start with that.
Okay, sweet. Well, I was thinking about shifting away from Artificer and going into Rogue and letting that work in symbiosis with the Infiltrator armor. But in the end, I decided to just take another level in Artificer. If it isn't broke, don't fix it, right?
Couldn't agree more. I'll be taking another level in Barbarian. There were a few cool options available, but I just didn't fancy straying away from my meaty path.
Awesome, man. So I also now can have an extra infusion, so that's 3 total. Then there's tool expertise. So yeah, I'm now better with tools, I guess.
Huh, neat. Well, I've decided to take my path feature into an elk.
I'm intrigued to know your thought process behind that.
Simple, really. I'm sick of everywhere we travel to taking forever. So this way, we get there twice as fast. Efficient as fuck.
Sweet, so you're like the man, bear, pig, but elkish instead?
Yes. Man, bear, elk.
So yeah, guys, I've decided to stick with my bardic roots for my level 6 upgrade. With my counter charm, I'll be spinning poems and words of power that basically slap away any mind-controlling vibes. Think of me starting a beautiful performance and suddenly everyone's got this poetic shield against being scared or mind-hugged. Then I've also picked up some magical secrets. Basically, I can pick 2 spells from any class. I've decided to go with Counterspell and Revivify.
Hold up, mate. Are you sure you don't want to swap Counterspell out because I've picked it as well?
Nah, have you ever considered the possibility of counterspelling a counterspell? Could be handy.
Well, that's true. You're wise beyond your years, Catman.
What about you, Tronald?
So basically, I've become so good at peering into the future, reading fortunes, cheesing, and generally knowing stuff I shouldn't, that it barely costs me a thing anymore. Every time I cast a divination spell, the magical universe is like, hey, Tronald, nice job, have a spell slot back. So yeah, aside from that, I get access to a couple more spells and an extra cast of a level 3 spell.
All right, so my turn. I'm quicker on my feet. Extra 5 feet of movement, to be exact. Got myself an additional key point too, because why not? More fuel for the fire. Now, the real game changer, I'm gonna be shadow hopping like it's nobody's business. Think of it as unlimited short-range teleportation as long as there are shadows nearby. Then there's my key-empowered strikes. Yeah, my fists are now magical.
Oh, nice. So you'll be able to contribute a lot more now, right? What do the magical fists let you do? More damage? Better accuracy?
No, they just class as magical weapons. So basically, if something is immune or resistant to non-magical attacks, my fists now bypass that.
What about you, Lunaria?
Okay, so I can shapeshift into stronger beasts, challenge rating up to my level divided by 3. Plus, my beast attacks are magically charged, cutting through resistances and immunities. There's more to it, but that's the gist.
What's wrong? You sound a bit peeved, not gonna lie.
Don't worry about it.
All right then, if that's everyone, let's dive into the session.
Hey, so, Might, I was gonna wait to ask you this. Thought I'd wait for the right moment. But I guess now seems as good a time as any, seeing as we're just following you towards Tronald. How did you find yourself locked up in that cage back there?
Well, you see, I was in the company of a few companions, embroiled in a venture I'll spare you the gritty details of. Suffice to say, we were deep in an endeavor when, quite unceremoniously, I found myself caught unawares. In a blink, I was surrounded by goblins, my allies vanished like mist. So, there I was, my energy almost completely spent. So fighting? Well, that would have been a waste of my final act, alongside being a pretty fucking stupid way to go out. So I chose to conserve my strength, bide my time for a dramatic escape later down the line. But fate, it seems, had a twist in store, and in you strode.
Oh, so you were traveling with other people before you met us?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you prefer us to them?
Who the hell knows, right? Guess time will tell on that front.
Wrong answer.
But I'll say this, it's definitely a breath of fresh air, not having to duck for cover every time one of you decides to whip out a spell. No offense to my previous crew, but living with a wild magic sorcerer was like playing roulette with the fabric of reality. Never knew if you were about to get a bunny or a fireball to the face.
Huh? You knew someone who could summon bunnies? That's pretty cool. I'm impressed. I'm also now pretty hungry.
Wait, what?
Bunnies.
Why would you eat a helpless little bunny rabbit?
Because it's tasty.
Fair enough. Joe, how's our progress coming along? Can we see anything that indicates that Tronald could be near?
Yeah, and what's my spell saying? Are we still on the right track?
Might, as you lead the group based on the ping from your locate object spell, the surroundings begin to shift noticeably. Ahead, you spot a solitary hut that stands out against the backdrop of the bustling goblin camp. The wand you're tracking, Tronald's wand, seems to be calling out from within this structure. What's striking, though, is the complete absence of goblins or any form of life in this vicinity. Unlike the lively chaos that marks the rest of the camp, this area feels eerily deserted, as if deliberately avoided by the camp's inhabitants.
Well, that's one positive at least.
Sorry, could you tell me what's positive about it? I mean, we haven't found Tronald yet, we just know that he's somewhere in there.
I mean, it's positive that no other goblins are crawling around this area, whilst it doesn't fill me with comfort that there could be a reason they don't come around here. Them not being here is a start, and it should make recovering Tronald easier.
Gobber, what is this place? And why are there no other gobbos around?
Raarh, as you turn to address Goba, you notice that he's lagging behind, a visible unease etched across his features as you all draw closer and closer to the hut. It's then, after swallowing hard, he edges forward.
This here's Elder Rattlebone's hut. Us gobbos, we steer clear of this place, unless we got a direct order from the top, and even then, it's not exactly a trip to the feast hall. If you catch my drift, why would any of us willingly come knocking on her door? Nothing but trouble, that's what. Now and again, the chief might send some of us to assist her with something or other. But here's the thing. Those who go in, well, they don't exactly make their way back out. At least not in any way we can see. It's like they vanish into thin air. Or worse. So, yeah. You can bet your last shiny that we keep our distance, by choice.
But you've said before that you have done things for her in the past, and you're still here, right?
Well, yeah, that's true. I've run errands for her, but that's always been out there, in the thick of the camp. Never once set foot in her hut, though. That place? That's a whole different story. It's like stepping into a shadow you can't step out of. The gobbos who are called there, like I say, they just vanish. So yeah, I'm still here, but only because I've never had to cross that threshold. And between you and me, I was hoping to keep it that way.
Well, that works fine for us, I guess. Gobber, you can stay out here, keep an eye out for any gobbos or whatever else might be coming. As for the rest of us, we will head inside and get our Tronald back.
Hey, don't get the wrong idea. Just because I said I'd rather not go poking around in there, doesn't mean I'd bail on you lot. Especially not if it could mean getting Tronald back. If it comes down to it, facing my fears or letting you all down, well, I'd march right into that hut with you. Fear or no fear. I'm not about to let you go it alone.
Look, Gaba, it actually makes more sense for you to stay put out here. It keeps you safe, which, surprisingly, matters to me now, and ensures we don't get any unexpected company crashing our party inside.
What's your opinion on this, Saxy? You're the most tactical out of us here, so your input would be nice.
Sorry, Raarh. My focus has been elsewhere, wrapped up in trying to connect the dots, and I think I've stumbled upon something about Tronald's disappearance. It's just the realization of what might have happened, the implications of it all. It's making me feel sick to my stomach.
Well, why don't you talk about it? Get it out in the open?
Earlier, Lunaria, you ventured off to see Elder Rattlebone. A fact you tried to keep under wraps. Then, out of nowhere, Tronald disappears without a trace right after putting on that bracelet. And let's not overlook how you've become increasingly reserved, almost reticent, as we've drawn closer to this camp. It's not just coincidence. It's a pattern, a series of deliberate actions leading us here to this moment. Lunaria, your secretive visit, Tronald's sudden vanishing act, your silence, it's all connected, isn't it? Every step we've taken, every move we've made has been leading us to this point, orchestrated by someone who knew exactly how to pull the strings. And now, here we are, standing at the doorstep of Elder Rattlebone, with one of our own missing, and a trail of breadcrumbs that's too precise, too calculated to be anything but intentional. So, Lunaria, what's your side of the story? Defend yourself. Please, just defend yourself. Because I trusted you. We all did. We let you in, counted on you, and now I want to be wrong about this. More than anything. I'm begging you, give me something, anything, to prove that my suspicions are misplaced.
Lunaria's not there, Saxy.
What? Where did she go? When did she go? Did anyone else see her leave?
Lunaria, if you could leave the table for me, please, and join Tronald outside.
Sorry, man. I was too busy thinking about how we were going to get in. I don't have a clue where she's gone.
Well, that just seals it, doesn't it, Saxy? She's gone, vanished. The moment Gobber spilled the beans about this being Elder Rattlebone's hut, she knew that one of us would figure it out, directly linking her to whatever's happened to Tronald. It's obvious she took her chance to slip away. That fucking traitor. I swear, when I find her, no shape she morphs into, no trick she tries will save her. I'll tear her apart piece by fucking piece. She thinks she can betray us like this and just walk away? Not a fucking chance.
Look, I understand why you're pissed, Raarh. I'm pissed too. But we don't know why she's done what she's done. There's got to be a reason. After all, she sacrificed something of incredible importance to her to bring me back from death. I owe it to her to hear her out.
Yeah? Is that right, Alexandrew? Well, in my opinion, her kindness feels more like the sort you show to livestock, fattening us up, making us trust her, all while leading us straight to the slaughterhouse. But mark my words, she will be the one. That will be devoured.
But when? When did she decide we were just pawns in her game? Was it as we neared the goblin camp, or was it earlier, while we navigated the labyrinth's twists and turns? No, it goes deeper than that, doesn't it? It was from the very start, the very moment we crossed paths with her. She needed a way out, a way to blend in, to seem less suspicious than if she'd just come to us out of the blue. She used our encounter with the prison cart, manipulated us into freeing her, setting her plan into motion from the moment we met. She had it all figured out from the beginning. Every step we took, every battle we fought together, it was all just a part of her scheme. And we just played right into her hands. How could we have been so blind? She wasn't just with us. She was using us every step of the way. Everything was a lie.
Right. Well, as hard as this is, we need it to take a back seat in our minds. We need to focus on getting Tronald back. Not revenge, not self-pity, but getting Tronald back.
Yeah, you're right, Alexandrew. Our priority has to be Tronald. But let's not kid ourselves here. We're stepping into this with one hand tied behind our backs. We're blind to what awaits us deep in enemy territory, and now, thanks to Lunaria's little stunt, you can bet Elder Rattlebone is sitting there waiting, already knowing we're on our way. It's not just a rescue mission anymore, it's a gauntlet. But if it means getting Tronald back, then it's a gauntlet we'll have to run, no matter what's waiting for us on the other side.
Well then, it sounds like it's high time I start tearing through this fucking door. No more sneaking around, no more guessing games. If Elder Rattlebone knows we're coming, then I say we give her exactly what she's expecting.
Sorry if I've not had much input into this, guys, but I feel like there's a lot of shit going on in your minds right now. But I'm with you. Whatever we have to do, let's do it.
Thanks, mate. All right, Raarh, rip that door off its fucking hinges.
With pleasure. Joe, I pull out my greatsword and charge towards the door, slashing at it before barreling through.
Give me a strength check.
That's a 19 total.
Raarh, with your fury boiling over, you unsheathe your greatsword, the runic blade catching the light with a menacing gleam. You take a moment to focus, then you charge toward the door. Your footsteps thunder across the ground, a relentless force of nature driven by a single purpose. As you swing your sword, it sings through the air, crashing into the door with a force that could rival a battering ram. The door doesn't stand a chance against your might. With a splintering crash, it bursts apart, pieces flying as you barrel through with unstoppable momentum. The path ahead is now clear.
As soon as Raarh crashes through, I activate my armor and follow him in, immediately scanning the area for Rattlebone, Lunaria, Tronald, anyone.
I do the same, using my shadow step to teleport directly next to Raarh in a defensive stance, covering his 6.
I walk into Joe, triangle at the ready.
Give me a perception check, Saxy.
So that's a 9 total, Joe.
Saxy, as you peer around the interior of Elder Rattlebone's hut, your gaze is immediately drawn to the more visible and unsettling features. The shelves are crowded with jars, each a small gallery of horrors, eyes that follow your every move, fingers curled as if grasping for freedom, and other peculiarities suspended in a murky brine. The gentle clatter of bone chimes, stirred by the air that flows freely through the now open doorway, sends a shiver down your spine. Despite your efforts to take in the details of your surroundings, your perception fails to penetrate the deeper mysteries of the hut. Neither Lunaria Elder Rattlebone nor Tronald come into view, the room, for all its eerie trappings, appears empty to your searching eyes. Shadows cling to corners and objects in a way that seems almost deliberate, masking the true nature of what lies within.
Shit, there's nobody here. Mike, what's your locate object saying?
I don't know. Joe, is my spell indicating that we're still in the right place?
Yeah, Mike, your locate object spell is buzzing with certainty, signaling that Tronald's wand is practically right next to you. But as you all take a moment to scan the room, no physical sign of Tronald or his wand is evident. The spell's guidance is clear, yet the expected target remains frustratingly invisible to your eyes.
Yep, it's definitely here. My spell's compass, if you want to call it that, is going nuts. It's like we're standing right on top of it, but, well, you can see for yourselves. There's no wand, and more importantly, no Tronald. This don't make no sense.
Well, I doubt that he's just going to be out in the open in this lovely little living room / horror show she's got going on here. Maybe we are directly next to him. Maybe there's a trapdoor or something.
Yeah, that's a good theory.
Joe, I want to take some time to start investigating the floor to see if there are any crevices or any places that feel more hollow than the rest.
Sweet, give me an investigation check.
Fuck me. That's a natural 2 on my roll, so a 1 total.
All right, Alexandrew, you begin searching. As for the rest of you, you can't help but observe his next actions with a mix of curiosity and bemusement. He gets down on all fours, embarking on what can only be described as a less than graceful search for a trapdoor. With the focus of a cat chasing a laser pointer, he prods at the floor, sticking his fingers into various holes and crevices, his face a picture of intense concentration. At random intervals, his body language suggests a eureka moment, his movements becoming more animated. But almost as quickly as these moments of hope arise, they're dashed away and he moves on, leaving behind whatever it was that caught his attention. The rest of you exchange glances, watching as he dismisses one potential clue after another, his search resembling less the methodical investigation of a seasoned adventurer and more the erratic scavenging of someone who might be looking for his lost socks hiding under the rug.
Damn, Joe. Why have you got to try embarrass me like that?
You rolled a 1, dude. You deserve it.
Huh, right.
I'm not sure why you took the lead on that if your investigation is -1. I'm going to give it a go myself, Joe.
Roll it for me, man. But same as always, the DC has gone up, assuming there is anything even there.
Where light dares not pierce and silence reigns, let Saxy's insight cut through these chains. In every corner, under every stone, seek and reveal, make the unknown known.
What the fuck?
Saxy, I've just given you a D8 inspiration die. You can use it anytime within the next 10 minutes, so it doesn't have to be this check if you roll super well.
That's awesome, man. Thanks for that. Sweet. So that's a 22 total, but I'm going to go ahead and just use the inspiration die as well. Better to be safe than sorry, right? Awesome. So that's an 8, which brings me to a 30 total.
Saxy, emboldened by Might's inspiring verses, you set about your search. Your eyes scan the hut's interior with unparalleled focus. Where Alexandrew's search was a scattershot, yours is surgical. Each movement deliberate, each observation keen. You retrace the paths previously explored, but with a perception heightened by the bardic melody that still echoes in your mind. It doesn't take long for your diligence to pay off. A section of the floor that had eluded notice demands your attention, its appearance innocuous, but your instincts screaming otherwise. Upon closer inspection, you uncover a trapdoor, its existence betrayed only by the slightest of discrepancies in the pattern of the floor, a masterpiece of concealment and magical disguise. The trapdoor, under the guise of wooden planks to match the hut, reveals its true nature under your touch. Metal, cold and unforgiving, lies beneath the illusion, a stark contrast to the warm wood surrounding it. The locking mechanism presents a daunting challenge, an intricate puzzle that weaves physical complexity with arcane runes, hinting at the depth of secrets it guards.
Hey guys, look over here. I think I found something. I could try to picklock it with my thieves' tools. After all, now that we're level 6, I have expertise in it.
Sounds good to me. Just get me down there quickly.
All right, I want to check for traps first, Joe.
Roll it.
Damn. My dice are on fire tonight. That's a 19 total.
Saxy, with a careful eye and a steady hand, you lean closer to inspect the edges of the concealed trapdoor. Your fingers glide over the surface, moving through the illusory wood to feel the cold metal beneath. Methodically, you trace the perimeter, searching for any indication of traps, wires, runes, or any subtle tell that danger might be lurking, ready to spring. After a thorough inspection, you step back, feeling reasonably confident in your assessment. The trapdoor, despite its deceptive appearance and intricate lock, shows no signs of being booby-trapped.
What about regular traps, though?
That's what he just said, buddy. There are no traps on it, at least from what I can tell.
No, he said there are no traps in the form of boobies.
You're taking the piss, right?
I'm being deadly serious.
Raarh, despite the name, booby traps actually have nothing to do with boobs.
You're lying to me.
The term booby trap originated from Spanish sailors with the word booby, in this context being akin to when we would call someone a fool or a person easily tricked or ensnared. So when someone falls for a booby trap, it's because they've been outwitted or tricked, much like a naive animal unwittingly stepping into a hunter's trap. It's all about the trap targeting those who are, let's say, less aware of their surroundings rather than any sort of chest-related connotation.
You know, I was not aware of that. Thanks, Saxy.
So, just to be clear, are there or are there not boobies down there?
Well, I guess there could be. If Elder Rattlebone actually is down there, that is.
Nice.
All right then, Joe. I'm going to get out my thieves' tools and try to pick this lock.
Roll it for me, man.
So even with all the bonuses, that's only a 15.
All right then. Saxy, applying your skills with the lockpick in hand, you approach the intricate locking mechanism. As you insert the lockpick, you begin to gently maneuver it, feeling for the subtle clicks and shifts that would signify progress. Despite your best efforts and the tension you carefully apply, the lock remains defiant. After a tense moment of trying to coax the lock open, the unmistakable sound of metal fatigue reaches your ears. Before you can adjust your approach, the lockpick snaps, leaving you with a broken tool and an unyielding lock.
Well, fuck.
Shall I just break it down?
I'm not sure a brute force approach will work this time, buddy. It's solid metal.
Then just try again or something.
See? I would, but that was my only set of thieves' tools. I could spend an hour using one of my abilities, the right tool for the job, but I feel like that's using up time we don't have.
Then I'm gonna fucking dig. Stand back, Saxy. It's Raarh in time.
Please don't ever say that again.
Have no fear, because Might Bite is here.
Huh?
Joe, I cast Knock on the trapdoor.
Nice. All right. As Might utters the spell, the air around the trapdoor vibrates with a sudden resonant sound, akin to a thunderous knock echoing through the hut. The magic of the spell targets the complex lock. Then, with a loud, clear sound that pierces the silence, the locking mechanism responds. You hear a series of clicks and mechanical whirs as the spell does its work, and the once impenetrable lock releases, undone by the arcane command. The trap door, now unlocked by Might's knock spell, creaks slightly, its seal broken without the need for physical force.
All right, I'll admit it. That was pretty cool.
All right then, Joe. Now that it's unlocked, I guess the only thing for us to do is venture down.
Well, you can do that next time, because that's where we will wrap up this session. See you later, guys.